Look who strolls in at the last minute to jump on board with Australia's greatest knife-making podcast, Knife Making Down Under. We have Mert, not his twin cousin Bert, but we have Mert, Corin and myself here again. And we'll wait and see if we get anyone on board this evening. Otherwise, we'll just do what we usually do and talk shit for an hour.
And that'll be good. Yeah. Howdy fucker, says Jamie Bishop.
I just love
First comment of the night. Nice.
First comment comes up, and it just keeps us on track.
Anyway, here we are. We went there.
Mm.
Yeah. So, guys, let's go.
Thanks, Julian.
What's going on, guys?
Well, we were on early. Yeah, we were on early just to make sure Corin's new laptop worked, and by the time we got the link set up, by early I mean about 8:24. But we're here, we're going, we're live. Yeah, all things are good. I was just in the midst of saying to Corin just before he started the countdown, and I was like, "What are you counting backwards for, you tosser?" Oh shit, it's time to go on. Those magnetic discs that I was getting, those diamond grinding ones, they have a magnetic backing on them, so it's just awesome. So they stick to the current disc, and I've got a generous offer to send me a disc from Rob Semler, Wolf and Eagle Forge. He's going to send me down his, which is nice, and I'm sure we'll work something out at the Sydney show for compensation. But yeah, for those that are sitting there going, what the fuck is Kev talking about? It's years ago now. I went up to the opal fields and caught opal fever, just off picking up small bits of opal, not much. But they've been sitting in a box for probably 3 years now. There's probably about 15 kilos worth of this potch, which doesn't have much, if any, value. And I found these flat magnetic discs, 8-inch discs, that I've been using on the variable speed disc grinder to turn big pieces of potch into really small pieces of potch whilst trying not to grind my fingertips off. Part of it was successful. I didn't grind too much off my fingers. But that kept me in there. I went up to the workshop. I got in a bit of trouble because I've still got very limited capacity for being on my feet and doing stuff. And I said to Ro, my wife, I said, I'm going to just go up to she was going out. And I said, I'm just going to go up to the workshop, half an hour. She came home like 4 hours later. I heard the car pull up and I went into a bit of panic. She's like, are you still up there? Oh, just packing up, darling. I'm going down. And I got in trouble because the next morning I got up and I realized just how unfit I am, and muscular wise as well. But just from looking at the disc for that time, my neck's sore. And I kept dropping shit on the ground. So I was sort of doing these very having trouble walking. I'm like, shit, 3 hours light work and I'm struggling. It's not a good thing. Anyway, it was fun. I got up to the workshop. It was fun. And
good.
And then today I sharpened 5 knives for a person. And that's my knife making adventure for the last couple of weeks.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, I've probably been a little bit more active. Not knife making, obviously, just making hammers every night.
Yeah.
I just finished for the night, so I'll start again tomorrow night, and then I'll start again Saturday morning and run through all night until Sunday, and then run through all day, and then hopefully I'll have some stock together and we'll get through the week. And I'm just living the dream, really. It's good, actually. I'm enjoying my little tool making fest, and now I don't just have hammers. Got a whole bunch of other tools there, working, doing a bit of collaboration, doing a few other things.
Yeah, I saw that. That's good.
And as always, I've got plans, I've got ideas, I've got things in the wind, and I've just invested a whole bunch of time and money into some new products. So we'll see how we go. One of which is in my hand, which you can see it just here. No, you're not going to see it.
I had a little peekaboo earlier. It's kind of exciting.
It is exciting,
It is.
big and hard.
My
Anyway, never mind.
my eyes were
Yeah,
like pizza pies.
yeah. So so that's been me really. I've just been working flat out. I've never done so much consistent making. I wouldn't say I've never done so much consistent making, but it's been a long time since I've done so much consistent making as I have since I started these hammers, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. It's just been wonderful for my headspace. Today, I'm working on a custom one for a guy that does leather work, trying to get polished carbide faces, which I would say that I've actually failed dismally at. But
Yeah,
but that's
that'd be
okay.
a hard one.
Yeah, I kind of thought it would be just like rub it with a bit of sandpaper. No,
No,
no, I'm fucking
yeah,
no,
yeah. We've
no.
Did
we've
you use
done that.
diamonds?
We've done that
I
before
don't.
with yeah.
I gave all my diamond plates and shit away, and they weren't real good anyway.
Ah,
So I do need to get some. But anyway, I think this guy's going to be happy because I got it pretty good. But
Yeah.
let's just say I wasted a lot of time on it as well.
Yeah, when we were
So
doing the cleanup on some of those first batches and we're running the paper on it whilst it was in the lathe, it wasn't doing any good cleaning it up. So, yeah, I was going to say if you've discovered a magic power to do that, you're doing pretty well.
you haven't seen how I do them now, have you? I mean, it's totally revolutionized in the last like
You've sent me
200 that
some,
I've
yeah,
done.
you've sent me some videos,
Yeah,
but
I
they
haven't
were
sent you
early.
anything.
No, they were early in the. Well, okay, you sent me some videos, and then
I've
we talked
I've
about hammers.
invented my own tools to do this job. Like there's tools now that exist in this world so you can make better carbide hammers. I'm not going to
Yeah,
share them
awesome.
because it's my own thing.
Yeah,
But
fair
like,
enough.
but it's good. You can have a look when you come up.
Oh
And
yeah.
Mert, what about you, mate?
mate. Last time we talked, it was just prior to the Sydney Good Food Show, Good Food and Wine Show,
Oh
right?
yes.
Oh
Yeah.
yes,
So
yes.
I did the Good Food and Wine Show on Saturday and Sunday. It was good. We had a big crowd. Talked to a lot of people, and it still surprises me to see when I talk to people when they look at the banner and they see the knives behind me, saying, "Hang on a second, like these knives are made here." Like, yeah, there are a lot of guys here that they make blades for a living, or even if they are part time, they are the ones who produce these amazing blades. Talked to a lot of people, witnessed some raw potato eating. So we had three people
More
pick up.
raw potato.
But on Saturday, like we were doing so good, and I'm talking to Matt Snape, like, Matt, I don't want to jinx it, but nobody ate a potato. And he's looking at me like, I know. Like, what if? And a lady walks by and she reaches up to the cutting board. Like, that's a potato. She puts it in her mouth and smiles and runs away. We're like, what are you doing?
It ain't. It's not fucking fried cheese, people. It's a potato.
Yeah, so Sunday we had some confused people with the looks and oh, this is just raw potato. Yeah, this is raw potato. But saying that, it was great. We talked to people about Cine Night Show, promoted the show well, I believe, and hopefully we get a lot of familiar faces coming from the show. And after that, do you guys know I had a greenhouse, right? I shared
Yes.
my greenhouse and experiences. Like how I saved 38 cents with the $1,000 piece of shit greenhouse. So 2 weeks ago, I woke up and it's a windy day. I'm like, yeah, it's windy. He'll be fine. So my son came inside from outside. He's like, Dad, your greenhouse is falling apart. I'm like, I know, son. It's always falling apart. It'll be fine. So he said, no, no, no. Dad, this time it's really falling apart. So I put my slippers and just walked outside and realized the shit piece of greenhouse I had. Like it's like it's 2 stages past the leaning tower of pizza. Okay, it's totally destroyed, and it's a cold day. I'm like, didn't want to do this. So I asked the kids to help me. We take all the pots and plants out of it, and I'm thinking like at this time, look, I already invested so much time in these stupid $3 fucking kilo tomatoes and things. Like I'm not losing this battle, okay? It doesn't make sense for me to try to win it, but I'm not losing it. So kids and myself, we unloaded everything from the greenhouse, took the greenhouse down, and then I had to go to Bunnings and buy a bunch of shit to make it. And I managed to fit like 3 meters of conduit and 2.4 meters of 2 by 4s, loaded the car. And Monday, I put the greenhouse all by myself, then realized so I haven't had a break from 9 o'clock till 8 o'clock. Then I had a dinner. I'm like, okay, I'm tired. Yeah, I can feel it. Next day, I woke up. I can't move because I worked so much and bending down and like lifting shit. I'm immobilized. Tuesday, I was completely immobilized. So I haven't been making much noise. Like I had a class today. Other than that, man, I'm doing random shit. Like I'm doing everything but knife making. Like it's always run the kids to their activities or do some random shit or every now and then, yeah, do some knives. Sydney knife show coming, right? I need to be prepared. So that's what I'm doing.
I
Well,
have seen a couple of your knives come up.
I've pulled the
What's
pin on
that?
the table. I've organised a half a table
Yep.
Yeah.
for the show. So Nirok knives, Nirok hammers
Oh,
will have half a
knives,
table at the
really?
show. I'm
Yeah, well
working
done,
that
man.
day, unfortunately, so I can't attend. But hopefully I might have a little bit of Kev action or a little bit of Keith action on the table. We'll see how we go.
I think you're gonna have a little bit of. I think you're gonna have a little bit of Kev and Keith action.
It'll be a funny
Oh,
table to be at. So we'll see how we go. And
because we've got no responsibility and no care.
no.
We're just gonna be there talking shit, selling
well,
hammers. They'll just fly off the table anyway. We
yeah,
don't
I know,
care.
all over the floor. Yeah, yeah.
Well, look,
Oh,
talking about the hammers, Corin. Like I see all over my
literally,
Instagram feed. Yeah, like, people are like this kind of like, oh my God, somebody's making these hammers. This guy made this hammer from Australia. Crocodile Dundee.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're like, no, it's
Yeah, there's a few. Everybody's. I mean to say they're not. I mean, it's been crazy. It's been a wild 6 months. I've enjoyed the ride. So, 8 months, 9 months, whatever it's been, and whatever. But it's
actually
got me right back into making, and hopefully, yeah, I'll direct that into finishing some knives. And somebody pointed out the other week, I was put up a progress shot of a hammer, and someone pointed out the 2 slip joints sitting on my bench waiting to get finished. So, yeah, I haven't
actually
worked
I
on the
took a
knives.
video. I took a video of myself using. Actually, I had a class, and I asked the student to take a video of me using and explaining how to use your hammer. I'll send you that soon.
Oh, just chuck it up on Instagram. Yeah, that's awesome.
No, I can't. I
Yeah.
hate. I hate watching myself. I can't stand my own voice. I can't watch it. I'm like, oh, stop it.
So
yeah.
anyway, yeah. Look,
I'm
I
just
don't know.
sitting here looking a little bit silly, fellas, because I just lost about 2 minutes because I'd forgotten to switch on my phone's hotspot. I'm like, fuck's sake, Mert's fucking internet's down again. And then I'm like, huh,
No.
it's mine.
Oh.
No, it was mine this
It can
time. Anyway,
So yeah,
probably didn't miss much.
bit of a
Oh,
wild
fuck.
ride. And now I'm doing these chisel sets, so punches, different domed end punches for doing
Yeah.
they're for what I'm not really promoting them yet because I can't make enough of them, but I will be soon. As I just told you, Kev, I've invested a lot into this.
Yes.
They're for hiding gaps between your bolsters and your blade. So basically, the secret weapon for that. Yeah, just a
Nice.
second, guys. I've got a bail just for real quick. Just got a message from my cheese and kisses. I'll be back in a second.
Yeah, sure, mate. No worries.
Ah,
So, how many
come
knives have you
on.
got? Quick, Corin's gone. Let's really get into this. How many knives have you got so far for your Sydney show, mate?
Mate, I don't know if I told people, but for the first time, I'm having 2 tables. I'm having tables for Tansu knives and also Huntley Valley Blades is going to
Yep.
get its own table this year.
Wow,
And yeah, that's a
that's
big
big.
step.
Shit,
That's
yeah.
big. And I have 18 knives already made for Huntley Valley Blades
Wow, yeah,
done.
righto.
Yeah, in a knife case. I'll probably add 3 more to that tomorrow. If I wasn't that lazy to put like glue onto 3 knives, I would have 3 more. But anyway, and for Tansu knives, because most of my Western style handle knives, they're bronze bolsters. What I've done this year is I got the blade hand sanded, like everything ready. Only thing I have to do is like the shoulders cut, the guards fitted, but because it's a bronze bolster, I don't want to glue the knife, then bronze starting the patina and me having
Right.
to
Yep.
like wipe the edges. So the shoulder is cut, blade is completely finished, handle is finished. All I'm going to do is like few days prior, I'm going to start just like glue and be done.
Yep.
That's the plan. Otherwise, whatever you do, bronze patinas, and it just the edges near the where the handle, the tang is. I can't get in there. Like even with the you use Q-tips and stuff like that, it just doesn't look as good as when it's just been glued up, you know. But I'll have probably 10 or 11 knives for Thompson knives and probably 20 or so for Hunter Valley blades. That's the
Yeah,
plan.
huge show.
Yeah.
Andrew's just posted up a reminder for you, Mert, down on the comments there too. Judging starts at 7:30. Don't be late.
Okay, that's really aimed at me. I can feel that. Okay. I feel
I don't know why.
yeah, I feel like it's wow.
Is that
It's come to this,
like?
huh?
Yeah, I was going to say, what happened in those previous shows that you would need such a reminder?
I don't know. Look, I made it in time. I made it in time, but those guys made those gates so tiny. I had to go around it, and by the time I go around it, like the time's up. You cannot submit them, like bastards. You doing it
Yeah,
just because I got thick bones. You guys are doing it.
yeah. No worries. Well, speaking of Andrew and reminders, there was something that I had to say a little reminder about, and that is our current Knife Art Association raffle.
Oh,
It stops very, very soon. I read it and can't remember exactly when, but it's bugger all time away. So if you want to have a chance of winning an awesome kiln plus a couple of other really cool prizes, jump on board to one of the links on one of the pages for the Sydney, Queensland, Perth knife shows, Adelaide knife show, and click the link and jump on and buy a ticket.
And share it too, please, guys.
And share it.
Like
Yeah,
people
jump
say,
on.
what can we do for our industry? Well, let's just tell you a little story. The Knife Art Association is an association that's devoted to running events, and for the last few years, we've been hemorrhaging money and not running events. All right, so that is super important that we generate some income and generate some capital so that we can keep doing what we're doing. And that involves making profitable shows, which didn't happen at the start of coming back from COVID, and raffles. And so the prize has been donated. I mean, a kiln donated, which I'm going to be proud and say that was donated by Gamaco.
Absolutely.
That's an expensive prize, and it would be a shame if we don't get some money back for it somehow. So, look, yeah, go for it. Yeah, I got my knife. I got mine on too. Look, there we go.
Yeah, I got
Blade
my,
Symposium.
well, I got Sydney
Knife show.
Yeah.
So guys, the best thing you can do for the industry is just share the all the links, and even if you don't want to buy a ticket, even if you're not going to come to the show, help out and share and comment and like and comment. So Facebook plays the algorithm for us. Just get on there and say, "Oh, that's great. Look forward to it." Something like that. Anything, and Facebook will share it to more people because they think it's good, which it is. Oh, by the way, we got a billboard again.
Oh, sweet. Nice.
Did you see the billboard?
No, not yet. I haven't been on social media. Well, with the exception of Instagram memes, believe it or not, some people.
Yeah, you've been on social media, Kevin. Amount of memes I sent you and I sent to each other.
Well, think about this, Mert. There's one or two other people that probably receive about a 10-to-1 ratio that I send to you.
Let me just say that if anybody gets a hold of our DMs and the jokes we share, we will be
We are in the
cancelled.
shit.
Like we will be so cancelled.
Oh, mate, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
I've
So if you're
actually
looking for the, yep, keep going.
no, I was about to say I've got to go onto a self-imposed sabbatical from using Instagram memes and what are the reels because it's getting a bit out of control.
I haven't had any time for social media, only to post my own Nirox stuff, and that's pretty much all I've done. I'll just get inside
I'd like to
and fall
be in that
asleep.
situation. Trust me.
Yeah.
I'd like to be in that situation.
So
Yes.
yeah, so what I was just saying, someone was asking for permissions to get your comments and names showing on the screen. Just scroll up wherever you're watching this in the description. It should have a please click here if you'd like to comment, blah blah. But if it doesn't, I don't really know what's going on, so I can't really help you. But anyway, that's all good. So knife making wise, out there in the wide world, we got any topics we want to discuss? Any anybody need any tips or got any discussion points other than knife shows, which is exciting?
Which is very exciting because it's not far away.
Yes.
So
It is
just
not far away.
I got to get my button to gear and finish Andrew Smith sent me a photo. Ooh, what's this? Maybe it's something I should be sharing. Wait up.
Maybe it's not.
Oh, he's got a photo of the billboard here. Look here, I'll get that on for us. Just
I'll be
I
back
don't
in a
have
sec.
two
1 second.
screens.
Just 1 second.
No worries at all.
Right.
So what we did this year, we had some credit because we paid for billboards that didn't go up through COVID.
Yep.
And we decided to use it spectacularly, and we threw up not throw up, but we decided to go with the billboard across the M4, and it's quite a spectacular piece of infrastructure. You cannot miss it when you're heading into town. I've got some really nice photos here. If I could just figure out how to use this new laptop, we would be just all over it like a fat kid on a candy bar. Here we go. There's the billboard. So for those watching, you should be able to see that now. Is that the case? It's huge, and there's like 700,000 cars go past it every day, and there's knives on it, and it's hopefully freaking out a few of the nannies, but also promoting the amazingness of the Australian knife community.
Firing up those 2 GB listeners.
Yeah, they'll all be ringing in.
Oh yeah,
promoting it for us.
Yep, that's it. Can't wait.
Yeah. And so pretty huge, and just such a good bit of exposure. If nothing else happens from the show, like millions of, well, not necessarily millions of people, but yeah, there it is from closer up on the inside lane. I mean, it's a huge piece of infrastructure, and what have we got there? That looks like I can't really make out who made what there, but there's some nice knives up there. Well, that'll probably be a Bruce Barnett folder and whatever. But yeah,
Rumble.
Nice.
I see Rumbles there.
I think mine might be.
Is that
no
Kev,
doubt.
Kev on top?
It might be mine up the top. First year I won't be having the table at the show.
So
we need people. Not that I'm sick of seeing my own knife in print and stuff, but we need to get good knife photography guys to give us access to really big sized images, not as in megabyte size, whatever. We need really high quality images of nice knives to put onto our art boards. Otherwise, obviously, with the size they are, we can't use the tiny ones, or they'll just look like Minecraft knives.
There's a mention there. How much does it cost for a billboard like that? And,
Ian Stewart. There you go.
Yeah.
Ian Stewart, Will Newham, Jackson Rumble, and Alistair Phillips. Good.
We got a discount on that billboard. And we didn't pay anywhere near what it's worth. I think we ended up. I think the actual retail would be something like 20,000, but we didn't pay anything near that. So we normally get.
had money.
We normally get the ones over.
Can we pay in knives? Can we pay in knives?
So it was pretty good though. It probably won't be happening again unless it does well. Yeah, and that's what Andrew's just said. It was you normally wouldn't pay. You normally wouldn't get changed for 20 grand. So that's pretty spectacular, and I think it's worth it because it'll be up there for 30 days. So it's I don't care anyway. I do care.
That's unreal.
You know
that exposure is just going to be unreal. Yeah.
And it's got people that weren't thinking about knives to be thinking about knives. They'll be driving past it, and maybe they don't even know. But in their subconscious, man, there's a Bruce Barnett or a Jackson Rumble. They're thinking, why am I thinking about knives all the time driving to work these days, or whatever, subliminal messaging. So I think it's fantastic. And
kids taking photos of it while mum's not paying attention. Not that she's not paying attention, but she's focused on driving, and some kid will take a photo and go, "Mum, look at this. What's this Sydney knife show?" Oh, I tell your father, he'll go.
The day it went up, Andrew got a phone call from some random saying, "I just drove past the knife show billboard and I looked you up and just want to know more about it." So,
unreal.
I don't know. There's probably only one person going to come from that investment, but that's still it's still good, right? It's still a
$20,000 customer.
And, Gamaco Gamaco, right? But every time the show's on, Gamaco covers up their own promotion signs out the front on Parramatta Road, and that's happened again. We've got the knife show banners up over our signs, so I hope that generates some.
Well, Julianne, earlier in the comments, Julianne was saying that a friend of hers sent her the pic of the one on the M4 and said that it looks very good, which is nice. So that's just awesome. Brad Stone, I have to say, Brad Stone, can you please go and hit yourself in the head with a really big fucking hammer? Because Serbian cleavers are not going on our banners.
Just ban this guy. Just ban
him. Ban him out.
But let's be honest, Brad Stone will have. If anybody comes to the show and wants to buy a Serbian cleaver, Brad Stone's your man. You look him up. Guarantee no one else will have any, and he'll have sold out by lunchtime Saturday.
True.
Happens every time. We all know it. So basically that's all pretty good. I'm pretty excited. Obviously the show is pretty close to my heart, having with me and Keith having sort of kicked it off right here many years ago. Anyway.
So before you were asking if anyone had any questions, and we've got a Facebook user, PSA, if you have fast oil, Horton's K, and think it's too fast for 1084 and do a room temp quench to slow it down, it's entirely ineffective. I thought they were going to ask us a question about it, but no, they've actually just given us some information. Yes, you're right. It's very hard to slow down a fast quenching oil by just having it at room temperature.
But a 1084
should go okay.
It should go well in K. It should go well in K. But anyway,
if it's not, there's factors.
This could be a bigger conversation.
Yeah, I was going to say if it's not working, and depends on what the outcome is, it could be a number of things about your edge too thin or whatever. If your knife's bent after heat treat, just buy a hammer off Corin and you'll solve that. No, it could be a number of things. But to be all honest with you, you're probably better off using something like Horton's than going down and buying canola.
Oh, look at this comment. Corin is getting moist.
Okay. Nick Allen has asked, love to hear all of your 2 cents on drill presses, both new and used. Obviously, there is stuff from Hare and Forbes, but there's also models from Carbotech with similar specs. Vintage-wise, the mythical Waldown are expensive and hard to come by. What other vintage brands have you had experience with, i.e. Harvey McMillan, Richards? I'm adding the Richardson drill presses.
I was going to say Richardson's are really good,
Yeah. So my 2 cents on drill presses are just buy the best you can afford and don't go too small. Okay, that's really my 2 cents, because having an accurate drill press is very, very nice and very, very important. But the best you can afford beats a shit cordless.
Yeah.
So
well, true.
How many drill presses you have, Corin? How many you have and how many you use?
I use 2. I've only got 2.
What about you, Kev?
I want it.
I've got 3 in the workshop, and then I sold an older Richardson.
We're not
Massive
judging you. You
Richardson
can
reel.
tell the number. We're not judging you.
No,
It's
no,
okay.
I've got 3. They're all wall downs. um, I have a very nice radial arm wall down, which when I purchased it, the picture that I bought it looking at, it looked like a mid-sized drill. When it arrived, I'd realised the mistake my eyes played on me, and this thing was absolutely massive. It is absolutely massive. But my other wall down is I forgot the model name now, S8 or whatever they are.
8SN maybe.
Yeah, 8SN. Sorry, yeah. And then I've got a quite a small one that's real old, real rough as guts, but it spins true, which is nice. But I went in to buy a drill for when I was running the classes. I just wanted a second drill purely for drilling tang holes. And when I went to my local engineering place, asked a very similar question because I pretty much just used the wall downs. And the answer, it was a Hare and Forbes drill. I can't tell you which size, which model, but the guy that sold it to me said, for a very basic drilling holes, this thing's going to be fine. And if you want a more accurate drilling later on down the trail when I could afford it, he said, update the chuck. So he said there's some very expensive. It was one of those things where I didn't even consider it because you often think, well, price equals quality, and that's not always the case. This was a reasonably expensive drill, and he said to me, "Yeah," he goes, "You're going to spend like another $400 just on a chuck later, and it'll be magic." But he said there's some $12 to $1,500 drills. He said they're out there. He said he wouldn't drill a hole with them with the chuck that comes from the shops.
No.
So that's a consideration as well.
My wall down's got a fair bit of run out. I've heard all these stories about the mythical no run out wall downs. Mine's not one of those. I reground the chuck. Do you remember me doing that?
Yeah.
I came up with a jig to reground. I did come up with it. The guy showed me it 25 years ago, an old machinist how to grind a chuck, and I just got my butt together, put the chuck together, and made a clamp to clamp it how it has to be clamped while you grind it, and then I put a Dremel in the vise on the table and went right ahead and ground it. So all good.
The larger drill I just bought, well, not just bought, I bought a while ago. That runs the truest out of all the drills that I've used in my workshop, and it's amazing. But yeah, the other ones, there's play in them. Hard not to get it.
I use 3 drill presses at the same time, but again, I could be fine with just one. But the way I set in my shop is I got one drill press that constantly has a 1.6 millimeter drill bit on it.
Yep.
Only thing that it does is just one for the alignment pins. I got one big drill press that's only doing tank holes like the tank for the heating tank handles, and another one, medium sized one, just to start my pilot holes. So I can go like bap, 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 the next one and done. Like it just saves me so much time, especially when I'm doing like a 30 handles for Hunter Valley blades. I cannot be changing things all the time. Like I need to be doing like a 20 pilot holes on the spaces, 20 holes in the pieces, and just move to the next one. I don't even turn the drill off. Like I let all of them run. Like I jump from one to the other, one to the other.
So you're saying quantity over quality?
Not really.
Hey, mate, I've been up at your joint when we were doing the hidden tang handles
have
with
changed.
you, and
Things have changed.
that drill.
Things have changed.
I'm happy. I was going to ask, has that drill either been fixed or replaced?
Replaced, yes.
Sweet.
Okay.
We'll leave it there.
Leave it there. Another thing I noticed is, guys, like I used to like constantly play with the table to get the height changed. Now what I've done is I got myself a set pieces of like the metal tubes, square tubes, and I got like set timbers. For example, if I need a drill tank slot, I'm using two tubes because I know that tube is not going to bend unlike the table of the drill press because that table is set with the single bolt or
Yeah.
nut. If you press too much on one side, it always moves. And I
Yeah.
was saying during the class today because you think that drill press is straight, this is straight, you're drilling, but there's a little of giving into it, and with having a metal underneath, square, that's not gonna move. So it's a lot better. And plus, I'm not worrying about like, let me wind it down, let me bring it to the right. No, I got some spacers. If I'm going to do handle pieces, this one goes in. If I'm going to do the body of the handle, this one goes in. Made my life so much easier.
Yeah. I do my handle blocks on the lathe. I drill them. I hold the block in my hand and drill
Yeah.
them on the lathe.
Well, that's safety.
That's so safe.
You've seen how well does it work, Kev? How well can I do that?
Yeah, very well.
All of my barrel knives, all of the slots, how accurate they are, I've done that like that. Just hold the block in my hand. But it's a bit of a trick to it, obviously. But
yeah, getting used to it. The other thing is though, when I was over in the US the last time, which was years ago, we were doing some folding knife stuff over there, and I found it interesting that the drill that we were using was just like a really small 5-speed Harbor Freight one, and that thing was really fucking accurate. It was like, no way. It's a fucking probably a $89 US dollar drill, and it just was just spot on. So
it's
again,
a lot of it.
yeah.
A lot of it's in the setup, Kev. A lot of it's in how much
Exactly.
time you
Yeah,
spend
true.
setting it up.
Yeah.
The last drill press I got is so shitty from Bunnings. Every time I drill, I have to hold it still. I have to hold it from the head down. I feel like I'm doing something dirty when I'm drilling. I'm pushing the head down.
He always has a happy ending at the end of that drill.
I just get hot.
No, I got a mine are
Oh.
both wall downs, but they don't need to be. I used to have the second one used to be a Ryobi, and I mean it was good enough. So my 2 cents, that's my 2 cents. Don't worry about it. Just get something that works for you, and the best you can afford.
The one I bought,
You'll never.
Prior to that was a Carbotech one, and it was a nice drill. And for woodwork in particular, it did a fantastic job. It did what it needed to do. Secondhand as well. You know, there's a few of them made in the older school ones are made in Taiwan and stuff are actually pretty well made drills as well. Like you've just got to get something that's sturdy. And if you're looking at one as an all rounder, think of what Mert said. How well is the base attached? Because if the base is attached by a bloody M4 screw, it doesn't matter what you do, you're never going to drill a straight hole. It'll bend that table out. So.
And an old one is only as good as the spindle bearings anyway. So you might have to pull it apart, buy new bearings, muck around.
Yeah.
I mean, all of mine have had new bearings put in them, and it's just, it's probably easy to just go and buy something.
The Richardson one I've got, when I sold it works and it's accurate enough, but it could do with a tuner. It just sat neglected for so long down in the bottom workshop that I just decided I'd sell it. Now there's that bloody clown Brad Stone. He's back here causing trouble again. Ongoing from Nick.
You didn't ban him yet. You didn't ban him yet?
No, unfortunately not. But he's put on there, ongoing from Nick Allen's question, your opinions on mill drill for knife making purposes, guards, flattening handle materials. What's your recommendation, price bracket models to look at? Pretty much the same advice we've just given you on drills. Spend what you can afford. With the smaller ones that have the column as opposed to a round column as opposed to a dovetail column, they're going to be much more of a pain in the ass. And that's from personal experience too. Every time you raise or lower that table, it's going to be out by a lot. I'm not a machinist either. I'm just going from my view of using these mills as a knife maker for knife making. I had an HM32, I think it was, one of the smaller ones. I thought it was a piece of shit until I realised it was the same one that Sean McIntyre uses, and that it wasn't the machine was a piece of shit. The user was a piece of shit. I hadn't been taught the right way to mill stuff, and therefore, even though I was taking it slower to try and get a good result, it was just like the definition of crazy, repeating the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. So yeah, look, there's if you've got a property that's got a big space, and particularly if you've got a property big space and three-phase power accessible, jump online and have a look, because there's some big ass old school Bridgestones and the like going for next to nothing because no one can get rid of them. All these machinery shops, unfortunately, are closing down, and they are an absolute bargain. But you're going to need like a freaking massive machine to move it in and out of place, and then the three-phase power. But yeah,
plus you're gonna have to fix things. None of them come like ready to use.
No, and that's the other thing is you're going to spend another $1,000 to $2,000 on tooling just to get it ready to use for your knife making as well. A decent vise, some hold me downs or whatever they are, some parallels, a collet set, because most of the time they don't even come with that. Your DRO, if you want to add a DRO to one that doesn't have it, that's another $500 plus your time for a cheapie.
Yeah. So Brad's asking about the price, what we'd say for a price bracket for a drill, and that's a tough call. A mill
How
drill.
long is a rope?
Yeah, that's a tough one. I paid $400 for my first one. It got me through for my first sort of 20 years of knife making.
Yeah, I bought it for my first one, and
second
it was
hand,
good.
But...
Yeah, set myself mine second hand. It had been given a green light by an engineering company, came to have a look at it, and they said, yeah, it's in good working order. My current one is Machinery House, Hare & Forbes, HM46. It's good. It's better in some regards. Where it lacks in terms of the modern and the solid structure is it doesn't go as fast as my other mill drill did. So it tops out at 1650 or 1900 RPM, which if you're milling small stuff, you want to have a fast. You want that bit to be going fast, from what I've been told.
So Doug Lass says Nova Voyager drill press. His is good. He updated the chuck, made all the difference.
Yeah.
I got to admit, exactly right. I use the Rome chucks, the German ones, because I found the guy that got me a good deal.
Yeah, my engineering mob use a Spanish one apparently because they got a good deal on them. I was like, oh yeah, fair enough.
How many of us have gone bush lately? A question from Ash Edwards. Aside from knife making, how many of us got to go out in the bush lately? Ash, I've since November last year, I've spent every waking moment making hammers. I plan to go and kayak the Murrumbidgee with my brother, and instead I made hammers. It never happened. So I've just got to get myself back into gear. Yep.
Yeah. For me, I've just got
on your back.
I've been not doing a lot, but as most people would know, but trust me, I have clear intentions and goals. Once I'm physically able, I'm heading out to White Cliffs, New South Wales, the Opal Fields, and I'm just going to kick around out there. I've got a good mate of mine. We're going to go out and camp, very basic, and go out there and just kick dirt. I've been online with the Young Guns Opal guys, saying pretty shit dad jokes actually, but they seem responsive, so they're going to get a visit. But no, I'm keen as, mate. With the back getting better, I'm going to be in a better position than I have been in the last 20 years to go bush, and I just can't freaking wait. What about you, Mert?
Yeah.
Been bushing?
No, man. Not my thing. Not my thing.
Fair enough. You've been in the greenhouse. That's enough.
At the end of the day, I'm like, yeah, it's a cool story. I would like to go into my hotel now.
Yeah.
Look, I would love to get into it. I just never got to it. Like being a city boy,
Yeah.
and like I like the concept, and just never been.
The concept.
I like the concept. And
God's-
remember, like we talked about doing a thing, like doing a like almost like an episode or doing like a little camping together. We never got to
Yeah,
it,
yeah,
guys.
yeah. No, that's right. I think that
Yeah.
was we're just going to sit out your backyard and have a barbecue, wasn't it?
Well, you guys can come anytime you want. Just
Yeah.
just mind the landmines. Just be careful with the landmines. Kind
Oh,
of late,
yeah,
but
mate.
yeah.
Bloody hell. What do we got from
yeah.
Bloody Brad Stone. Step
Carbide
aside, mate. Let
scribe.
someone else ask a question. Carbide
Look at him go.
scribes.
That's
Is he
Carbide
having
scribes.
PMS or
Is that a
something? What's
question,
going on?
Brad?
I
Is that
don't
a
know. I don't
question?
know about.
Or is he just
I yeah.
drooling?
I've been.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Brad is
Not
having
every.
PMS. Just ignore him.
Not everybody knows Andrew Lazarevic, right? Andrew from Lazar Designs. He's been a knife maker for probably 20 years or something. I've known him since I started the Gamaco thing. He turned up in the shop one day, and he's basically been a mate of mine ever since. But he's just totally adverse to all social media, all phone calls, all everything, and just not interested unless he knows you. That's it, right? We got him to go to Adelaide show last year,
Yeah.
which was he just came out of his shell, and now he's like super keen to go to more shows. We
Nice.
might see him at Sydney. I'm working on it. But yeah, Andrew makes a lot of tools and stuff as well. So he made a lot of stuff and just said, look, just put it on your website, and we'll see how it goes. And one of those things was the carbide scribes. He's making a really nice carbide scribe with a really long point. Nice, long, slender, thin point that you can get up against a rule nicely, which mostly you can't do with carbide. Yes, It's fragile, but they're not designed for Muppets. And like he said, he's used his on 200 knives and still going strong. And Andrew, I say it like, Andrew's used it on 200 knives. Andrew's the most prolific knife maker that no one's ever heard of. So
Can
he's
vouch for that, yes.
he's got a lot of knives.
And he drives... He got street cred because he drives I like the Porsche Macan, and that's what you went to the Adelaide Knife Show with him in last year. And and when I sort of went, I love your car, he gave it a good rev for us, but then we had a nice little battle on the road in shit traffic, sledging going slightly ahead and slightly behind each other. And I was in, what was I in then? My bloody Amarok or something.
So keep an eye out for Lazar Designs at Sydney show. Keep an eye out for him and go and have a look. He makes
he makes
good working
a
knives.
very, very, very tidy knife.
Yeah,
he won one of the
best
prizes.
Utility knife,
best utility.
Yeah.
And I got to say, like, that's what he makes, right? I'm not insulting him there. He doesn't make art pieces. He makes knives for guys that like to go hunting and fishing, and from a guy that lived in the bush his whole life, and maybe not his whole life, but he spent a long time out on the farm and knows about dressing animals and skinning game and all the rest of it. So he makes a knife that's designed to be used. He's not interested in listening to. I say this in the nicest possible way. He's not interested in listening to other things. Like he's not really trying to get influenced by anyone. He just does what he likes because that's what he likes doing.
That's the best place to be.
That's what I'm trying to say. So he doesn't make knives to pander to anyone or because he has to. He just does it because he loves making knives. So yeah. Anthony says met Andrew in Adelaide. Excellent.
Scroll up to Lee Campbell.
What's he done?
Right.
Yeah. Did you see that one? So Luke Berkman is bragging about.
I haven't been on social media. I haven't been on Facebook. I get the idea. Yeah. His missus left a message for him. So Luke Berkelman's he runs the Waterfall Road Hammering. Great guy. Yes. I always thought that he could do with watching that video, the Hot Crazy Matrix. But anyway, he's got a taste for women that he likes women. I mean, there's no obviously I like women. You like women. I'm not saying anything there. But anyway, one of them left a message for him on his workbench in earbuds, Kev, that said, "Eat me!" !
And Luke took a photo of it and put it on Facebook. So that was public.
Yes.
Yep.
And
Yep.
and there we go. And so yeah, so the comment relates to eating bush and not going bush. So thank you, Lee, for your insightful remark and bringing our podcast further into disrepute.
Anthony Kittle. Well, we didn't have to say it, but I wanted to point it out just to keep the thing going. Above that, Andrew's made a comment, well, in what I can see, about he's heading up to Darwin shortly, probably going to spend some time with the Crocs. Mate, I'm so happy to see that all of my posts messages I've been sending to you about my Crocs and the accessories I'm buying for them have finally broadened your horizons. You're spending some time with the Crocs stuff. That's great. Do you reckon he means the shoes or?
I don't know what he's talking about, but it's Brad. He's just talking. Hi, Brad.
No, not Brad.
Nick
Anthony
Allen.
Kittle.
Oh, Anthony. What's him?
Yeah.
Oh,
off to Darwin shortly and probably spend some time with the Crocs.
Oh, I don't have that message.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's further up. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry for the discombobulation. Is that the right word? I don't really know.
Don't know. Sounds good.
Anyway, so there we go. So industry-wise, guys, what else is after Sydney?
Well, I don't know about Sydney, but
we've got a sale going on.
I was going to say you got a bloody awesome sale that I was talking to you about just before because I jumped online and saw the group buy post and clearance on the grinders for a start.
Yeah. Well, we went around the place and just thought we've been representing 84 Engineering for a long time, and for reasons we're not going into here. Well, we just the relationship has moved on in both ways, and well, that wasn't a choice we made, but that's okay. We went around the place through the organisation and we found all the demo grinders that we've been taking to shows for years and all the grinders in our own workshops and everything. And we're just about to release our new 2x48 Reaper, which is a nice machine. Takes a standard tool arm, doesn't take small tool arms, so accessories are reasonably cross compatible and so forth. We got all these machines together and figured out in the organisation damaged boxes, stuff that had been damaged in transit, in quarantine. Figured out we had over 20 grinders. So those 20 grinders are going to go on sale on the 1st of August. There will be a head start given to the people that have commented on the post in the clearance group. I don't know how you'll go with those. We're thinking of we're probably going to have a hide and seek, so we might hide one at a good price somewhere in the website. You've got to go and find it, sort of thing.
Nice.
which could be fun. And we've also got lots of accessories, like if you want a universal tool arm, that sort of stuff for your noob grinder, for your 2x48, all of those will get cleared because we'll no longer need them. So we're releasing a whole brand new range of accessories, which I don't know if you two know about, but they're being manufactured. Some in Australia, some in New Zealand, some elsewhere. And yeah, life goes on. We'll bring a whole lot more innovation to the market as we always have. So that's good.
And you've got Gamaco's got I'm assuming it's still running your sale on consumables at the moment, is it?
I don't know what they're doing, honestly. I'm making hammers.
I'm just trying to put a word in for our sponsor, Gamaco. And
we had our website go down the other night.
Oh,
so I don't
yes.
know.
Oh, yeah. Tell about that.
Let me tell you the story. It's not secret.
Because I went on there. It says like "Welcome to CCP."
We had
what it said on the screen.
So it's all secure and safe, but it wasn't for a little while. So what happened? We got a phone call through the day. Very well spoken gentleman. We had a couple of phone calls, but anyway, I think there was a couple of phone calls, and he came up, had a great story about an issue with our bank and that he had all the answers and so forth. Very well spoken, knew everything about our bank accounts. I mean, knew stuff that only somebody in the bank could know, we thought.
Yeah.
And we have very serious authentication processes within the organization, which I won't go into, but we haven't always had those, but we implemented them, and we've always thought they're a pain in the ass until Tuesday. I got a phone call. Look, I've got this guy on the phone. He knows all this stuff, and it sounds legit. And I said, yeah, it's got to be a scam. Like, the bank doesn't call. So I got onto the guy, and I'm treating him like a scammer as well. I'm being pretty cautious with him. And anyway, pretty soon I cottoned on it was definitely a scam. Not before I had clicked on a compromised link. I was actually on a site that looked like it was our bank, but it's a mirror site. And that had all been done through hacking our machines and our network, which was really pretty sad. And anyway, I gave this guy an earful that Joe, who sits, a good way away from me, said, "Wow, you tore him and you arsehole." Anyway, I lost my shit. We turned off all the machines in the place, and we had to get them all scrubbed and brain wiped, and we found the affected software and whatever. And then an hour or two later, it looks like they went for a ransom attack on our website. They crashed the website, deleted all the backups off the hosting servers, and basically left us cold. Fortunately, we duplicate everything and we have off-site backups, and it didn't really affect us. We went to a different host, reloaded, and I might add, this is one of the best biggest hosting companies in Australia that we're with. So we had to move to a different host, and get it all going again, which we inevitably did. But what a fuckwit. But I'm telling you guys, the scams out there, these people sounded so legit. They get into you, they know more about you than you're going to know, right? And I can see why people fall for it. I can absolutely, totally understand why people fall for these things. $3 billion, the bank tells us, has left the Australian economy in the last 12 months to scammers.
Wow.
$3 billion. So we got away with paying a couple of people to work all night to fix our website and get us going again, and having some machines brainwashed, and my machine's still gone. That's why I'm working off a different machine. But I just, all of those things that you put in place, all of those security measures that everyone raves on about, they're just so worth it. Just do it. It's just do it for sure.
Yeah.
So there you go.
So
Brad, Gamaco Artisan Supply says it's 10% off all U-Butte products, and you can save 10% when buying Starbond bundles. And that's a great opportunity to save. That's great. Listen, the U-Butte products, get that damn Aussie oil for your handles anytime you're treating unstabilized wood. Man, that stuff is the bomb. You like the Tripoli?
I like,
yeah, I got that.
EEE Ultra Shine, yep.
Ultra Shine, yep. And the other one that's super popular, Tripoli Ultra Shine, and the Tripoli powder stuff they use for the Hummons.
Man, that is a game changer. I've got a 20-kilo bucket of Satanite, which is now worthless because I use Hammonite. And I've got...
I'll get rid of it, sell it.
Yeah, I will eventually. And I've got about a kilo of the carbide powder, which I used to do my Hummons with, but I just now use the Tripoli powder. That stuff is amazing.
So they're my three hot picks. There's Ian at work raves about the sanding sealer and stuff, but I never really got past the Aussie oil. You just shake it up really well, put it and it doesn't darken the timber like when you put tung oil on it. Tung oil can make the timber a bit darker.
That's what you're using on the knocker hammers, isn't it?
Yeah. Handles. And if you've got it dries really quick. Like I'm talking 20 minutes, half an hour, and not even. And if you pick it up with grubby hands that you've just come off the buffer and you put black smears all over a brand new Osage orange handle, they wipe right off. They literally wipe off with a bit of moist rag. Wipe off the smears that you've just put on with your grubby fingers. Ask me how I know.
I've got a pizza oven. I've been renowned for burning mammoth ivory,
Gidgee,
Malibu,
Facebook user says Aussie oil is great, but you have to sand to a very fine grit. I go to 320 scalloped, and it's schmick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could vouch for that
320
because
scalloped.
you showed me last time I was up and you were doing the handles, and I was actually pretty well amazed that you could get such a good finish off literally what I would call a really shit sanding grade. But like say for a hammer handle, you're not going to go to 1500 and put this stuff on there, are you?
No.
Corin, speaking of hammer handles, did you ever think of like doing a scorched finish? Like
This is what I think of scorch finish, and that's the other one I think of scorch finish. Scorch finish is like, it's like, my God, that looks terrible. I'll just burn it. No one will ever know. What, you like it? I mean, to each their own, right? If you like it, you just go right ahead. You go right ahead. I think it's, I'm not doing it. I like a nice bit of Osage orange, sanded, looks schmick. Why would you scorch it?
Oh, you've just scorched it.
Yeah, you
scorched the scorch. You scorched the scorching.
I'm not the guy who scanned your website, dickhead.
No, do you like it? Do you like the scorch finish? No, I'm just saying. Do you like the scorch finish?
I don't, but with the caveat, I made some forge finish knives, and people requested me to put a scorched Arizona ironwood. And when you scorch Arizona ironwood, listen, when you scorch Arizona ironwood and buff it, the grain, like you're pretty much getting rid of all the burn stuff, and all you see like a raised grain of the Arizona ironwood looks one tone darker than usual, and it's a wood preserving method they use in Japan as well. It's actually quite nice to make timber a bit more durable, and it looks great on that, but it only looks good on a forged piece of steel. With your like very fine, clean finish of those hammers, maybe not, but I figured if you're making handles that going to be using the dirty shed with the grubby hands, maybe you might want to offer like something that's like scorched, that's not going to stain the beautiful timber.
You're talking to me now. I have beautiful tools and clean hands and never use the tools, so they last forever prior to making so many hammers. That's another
other people use their tools, you know.
I'm not judging. I'm not judging you. I'm not judging you. But if people want that, you just go right ahead and do that. For me, for my hammers, I'm not doing the scorch look. I'm just not. Look, I like what I'm doing. I'm just going to stick with it.
Okay, who else is? Yeah.
I was going to say, you ever seen Seinfeld?
Yes.
Yes. Someone asked Corin, "May I have a burnt handle?" No hammer for you.
No hammer for you.
No soup for you.
No soup for you.
Brad Stone wants to know if Jay Nielsen's doing destruction tests at Sydney Show. So for those that are for those that don't know, Jay Nielsen's coming to the Sydney Knife Show. Jay Nielsen was a judge on Forged in Fire. He's a mastersmith. You'll find him at the Gamoco booth. He'll be there promoting Broadbeck grinders, which is another range that we're now bringing in. And he's also going to be doing some demonstrations. Is he going to be doing a destruction test? I don't know. It's a good question. I think we'll have to put that to...
Brad, he will do it. If you ask nicely, he'll do one in the toilet.
Yeah, with a Serbian cleaver.
I'm going to say, he'll come over and do a destruction, but it's just going to be of your will to make knives.
So anyway, we might get him to slice up a pig or something. We'll see how we go. And he'll be definitely doing some demos in the demo area, and he will be running some masterclasses after the show, which there may be still a few spaces left for. You'll have to hit the Knife Art Association up.
And also, you can go on to Gamoco and buy a Sydney Knife Show, Gamoco Sydney Knife Show T-shirt, because Gamoco are bringing out Jay Nielsen for the Broadbeck stuff.
I think I've got one here.
And then you can pay for that, pick it up at the show, and get it signed by him.
Guys, I got a confession to make.
Can we take this into private, Mert? Because I didn't think we were going to tell anyone.
No.
Something else.
Something else.
Okay.
during the Sydney Night Show. So I'm at the Good Food One show. I'm talking about the Sydney Night Show. There's this young people. I'm telling like we have this, and the kid says that he knows Fortune Fire, and then I drop the word saying Liam Neeson is going to be there, and the guy,
Liam, yes.
his eyes are lit, and I realize that I shit it, and it's Jay Nielsen, not Liam Nielsen, and yeah, and yeah, that happened. Yeah,
There you go.
Next thing, Merc gets a phone.
yeah.
Next thing, Merc gets this random phone call. I am going to
I
find
know.
you,
I'm going
and
to
I'm
find
going
you.
to kill you.
This is how we got some team shirts this year. So those, you can tell who we are. But anyway, there you go.
Yep.
Yeah, but that's the shirt. Yeah, and
That's pretty cool.
Jay's going to be there. So
Do you know what's going to be appreciated in my household about that shirt? It's not black. It's
yeah,
not black.
but that's
Exactly.
It's blue.
My daughter's like,
Just
Dad, all of your shirts are black.
yeah.
Oh shit.
Did you see the Wolfram one? Did you see the Wolfram one?
Yes.
I got shirts everywhere here. These are sick.
Yeah. That is
Wolfram.
cool.
And they're not black either.
No, that looks like a shade of black.
It is a shade of black, but it's not.
That looks like he started his life as a
Shut
black.
up, Kev. Shut up, Kev. All right. So there we go. Wolfram. And that's pretty much where I'm at. I'd like to finish off those 2 slippies on my bench, but it's not going to happen this side of Sydney. I'm just frantically trying to get some stock together. Those chooks, the chooks that I've been making, which is the little handheld hammer, those have been going all over the world. They're pretty reasonably priced, I think, and people appreciate them. Saves them having to make their own. And I've now got like 100 and something different versions of my hammers on my website. You can go on there and choose your own knock venture, I call it, which is just pick 2. You can pick two ends from 11 options, and you can put your own handle on there, or choose one of mine. So
I may get the knockoff of your hammers, Corin. There's a knockoff of your hammers.
Is there really? A knockoff. Nice.
Are you talking about the one? There was one online. I saw one.
Yeah.
Did you?
I was like, that looks
I
like
don't know. I think you might have sent it to me.
I might have. Yeah, someone's copying my hammers. Yeah, I remember that. I'll find it.
It's a knockoff of your hammer.
You need to. I guess you need to see it. But for those that are just listening to this in their car, we're sorry. But it's someone's done a ball peen hammer, and on the ball end, they've drilled a hole and put it just like a carbide bearing in it.
But it's terrible. I mean,
I thought it was a tampon.
It's. Oh, here it is. I found it. Look. See that on the camera. He's just got a ball peen. It's like the ball's just balancing on the end of it.
He's blue tacked on.
Yeah. He said, I don't know why they charge so much. I just drilled a hole and glued it on. It only took 10 minutes for the glue to set. And it's like, yeah, well, I don't think it's quite the same as what I'm doing somehow.
Longevity and that's it. We'll come back in. We'll come back in 10 years or 10 minutes time and see who's still working.
So who's crawling around on his hands and knees looking for his ball? No. Anyway.
I've had a little bit of cabin fever. Can you tell? I'm just, my mind's wandering humor wise.
I did notice, but anyway, that's okay.
So Doug's got on there and said that he's not a fan of scorched knife tool handles. Can be effective on some of his woodwork projects, and he did a nice scorched Oregon pine picture frame once. And for a picture frame, that's fine.
Yes.
Yeah. And then bloody Brad Stone. Christ's sake, Corin, ban that bloke.
Ban
Brad
Stone. BBS.
Having something to make bread knives. Yeah, I haven't yet. No, it's not on not that high on the list, but I'm I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
we could come up with something pretty easily. Looking at the
Yeah.
way that if you've ever watched Jeff Fader do it,
Yes.
it's probably where I'd be going.
Yeah, that's where I'd be going too.
Yeah.
I'm going to
Yeah.
send you the Corin. If you look at your
Yeah.
Instagram, I'm sending you the scorched handle I did. Just
Okay.
Yep. Let's have a look at this. Meanwhile, Matt Snape. Hi, Matt. Matt Snape's coming in defence of Brad. Brad is doing a great job. Yes, Brad, you are doing a great job.
You are. People do love serving cleavers, and you've got to service that market. So well done, Brad.
Yes.
If not for you, they would have died a humble death.
Yeah. Serbia would have just faded into, like, their knife range would have faded into like a thing of the past. Are you waiting for a photo? Or
I'm getting it up. Just wait.
Silence there.
Yeah, I'm just sharing my screen. It's I'm this new StreamYard, Brave New World, all that sort of stuff. What's going on with this? Present. Share screen. Sorry, I've forgotten how to fly this shit.
Oh, I know. I'm laughing at Brad. I'm seeing comments that aren't on the screen, but I'm just having a laugh.
Can you see that? Yeah. Can you see that? So what we've got is the ironwood. Is that it, Mert?
yeah, that's it. It's hard to see in the picture if you get
It
close.
is.
It is. It's not working for me.
Wow.
So anyway, that's all right.
Brad, you are doing a good job, mate. And yes, last podcast we did say for people to come onto the podcast and ask questions. And we really do appreciate you for being the person that is asking the questions. We do.
Yeah.
Yep.
We love you, Brad. We do. We love you.
We love you, Brad.
We love
I've
you.
always loved you, Brad.
Always. Instant.
It's good on you, man. Well done. And by the way, anybody out there that wants a Serbian cleaver, Sydney show. Right.
Sydney show. Just look for
with
Brad.
The hybrid handle. With the hybrid handle.
Brad is not a bloke you can walk past and not take notice of. He's a huge unit. He's got fiery red hair, and he's not a bloke that you can walk past and well, you might want to step away from him, but please step towards him. He's not as nasty as he might appear. Should I keep promoting you, Brad?
Anyway, we're rambling. We're getting off track a bit.
We are.
I think the reality is we need to get Kev back into his shop making knives. I need to finish 2 slippies, and Mert.
Yeah, bro.
Well, Mert, we can hear you this week. It's and you were here on time. I mean, pretty much that's a full score for you.
And I apologise, Mert, for blaming my shitty internet on you. The hate was real. The hate was real.
Yeah, you guys picking on me today. Corin ripped me a new one. Andrew calling me late. Kevin blaming his internet on me. Fuck you guys.
Oh, Andrew's also said that friends don't let friends do scorched timber finishes.
Oh, nice.
He's gone. Oh, we've pushed this host away and we've pushed Brad away. We're on fire.
In that bombshell.
Anyway, guys, look, it's good to be getting back into the routine. We need to get back into the routine of getting some good content together. And I'm sure we will. It's just good to see you back on the screen, Kev. And
happy to be here.
Mert, it's good to be able to hear you.
Yeah.
good to see you guys.
See you, boys.
Still picking on me.
Take care, and please be safe out there, guys. And we'll see you.
We're wrapping it up
before the show.
Yeah, we'll do one more before the show.
Yeah, one more.
What would be the best knife show next year for a first timer to attend? Also coming from Queensland. Look, the first show that the easiest show for any first timer to attend is their local show. However, if you're only going to do one show in a year, well, I better make it Sydney.
Better make it Sydney.
Yes. Sydney's huge. Anyway, guys, take care. All the best.
Yeah,
And
great seeing
we'll
everyone
catch you soon.
back on board.
See you next week.
Fortnight.
Well, next time, not next week.
Next fortnight week, sometime.